All right. Give me 1 second here. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming today. My name's Jocelyn Voss. I am the Chief Knowledge Officer here at Final Offer. I've been involved really since the beginning. I've been an agent for 17 years in the Washington, D.C. market, and Final Offer launched in my market almost 3 years ago. You can hear me okay? Nobly, you're good?
Well, not as good as we want to, but
Okay,
we're gonna try and see if we can transfer the audio to the TV.
perfect. Take your time.
Bottom left, the audio. No, the link. Oh, arrow thing.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that one. Ask for a talk.
All right, now let's try.
I'm here. I'm Jocelyn Voss.
Oh, that works better. Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Please feel free to ask questions. I can't see you all, but interrupt me at any time or put it in the chat, whatever's easiest. I want to make sure you all feel, quite comfortable with what it is, why this was built, and what we're doing as we launch into your market. I don't know if you all heard me earlier, but I've been an agent for 17 years in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. Final Offer launched here almost 3 years ago in my market. I had a cold listing, about to lose the commission altogether, and kind of came up with a strategic way to use Final Offer, brand new to our market, and got 2 people to come in and bid the property over where it sat stale. So before we begin, I just have a couple questions to understand your market. What are market conditions like where you guys are right now? Cold, normal, mixture?
Probably between 60 and 65 average days on market, about 40 days. Median days on market. Listings are sitting longer than we would like.
Yeah. Great. No, that's good to know.
Probably typical across the country.
Yeah. Yeah. And some markets not, which is crazy. One last question for you. Well, 2 questions. Are you doing anything to share off-market listings today?
No, I think it's a bad idea.
Got it.
Sorry, that's from the broker's perspective.
Sure. Got it. And then, last question, what do your agents typically use to save an automated save search for their clients today? Like, do they use the MLS or do they?
Automated save search.
Yeah. So typically
MLS.
Okay.
Listing alerts.
Got it. Okay, cool. That's super helpful.
Listing alerts that can be specified multiple times during the day or just once a day.
Yep.
And they can be instant or just once a day timed.
Yep. Okay, cool. So you're going to see kind of as we walk through this, the whole experience of what we've built, which is why I asked those questions. We'll go over today, what is Final Offer? We do have an exclusive listing functionality. I'll go over a bit of how agents are using that, especially in a colder market. We'll talk about winning more listings with Final Offer and then moving these stale, cold, whatever you like to call it, listings using Final Offer. We've been around, I think I'd mentioned, about 3 years. We're in 18 markets. You guys will be our 20th market as we're launching Colorado next week. And then New Jersey after that. So our goal is to be live everywhere in the next 6 months. And yeah, we'll get started. So again, please interrupt me with questions, but what I want you guys to think about at a higher level as to what Final Offer really is we're really a listing offer negotiation platform. Where you can literally search for homes on our site. You can save automated save searches for your clients on our site. You can even include those off-market listings in those automated save searches on our site, manage offers, make offers, and negotiate offers all in one place. Our system is really built to elevate the experience for all parties involved, as we are a consumer-facing website that agents are using to really market themselves in a way like never before by building trust and doing something different and marketing to the public in a way, giving them access to information they've never had before, and truly filling the gap of what doesn't exist, which we're going to walk through today. But that is really around A home is listed for sale today. It then goes under contract. There might be a price reduction in here, but ultimately what happens in between for sale and when it's gone is what we fill the gap in on to bring more information and clarity at the most important time while giving the listing agent complete control of what that looks like. Okay, and we're going to walk through step by step how to pitch it all the way through, getting the best outcome for a seller. What we're really solving for, and I think this is super, super important to think about as I walk through the product. I usually like to start on the buyer side because I've been a frustrated buyer's agent for a long, long time. But, a lot of questions that typically come up are, was my client's offer presented to the seller? Is there really another offer on the table? When they win, very often they'll say, oh no, did I overpay for this home? That's what a buyer will say. Or when they lose, a buyer will say, well, we would have paid more had we just known, or why did we lose? Right? And then on the flip side, listing agents and sellers often feel, it's difficult to truly differentiate yourself in the market, being a real estate agent, and how, you're going to see Final Offer really as a marketing tool to really help agents differentiate themselves. But a lot of agents, we do the same things where we'll get a home up for sale. It'll go on the MLS. It will shoot out to all the third-party sites. We'll put a for sale sign in the ground. We'll host some open houses and we'll wait for offers. This allows agents to be much more strategic, have more options, and really be a bit more aggressive about going and getting offers versus waiting for offers. In a colder market, sellers will get one offer and very often it's accepted. Maybe there would have been someone else who would have paid more had they just known. And then lastly, today's sellers do not know if they did not leave money on the table. And so you're going to see how Final Offer is really solving for all of those questions and frustrations in the opaque way that business is done today. That's actually a problem for the real estate agent because it's very often the consumer, or naturally people blame and the person standing between them and information, which happens to be the real estate agent in all of these transactions. And how can you bring the consumer into the process to really build trust into the transaction? So we're going to start really with any questions before I keep going?
No, this is awesome.
Okay, I'm going to show you this live. Now, however you feel, we have no say on if it's right or wrong to sell homes or market homes before they come to the market. Okay, I want to be really clear about that. What we've built is a tool to allow agents to share those internally with the agents at their brokerage very quickly and in automated saved searches also for their clients. And so I'm going to show you what that looks like. When you come over to view listings, we'll have Utah up here, but let's go over to the DC area where I'm most familiar, obviously. You can draw on our map, or you can use our sorry, the Zoom link is in my way. You can type in here all of the areas that agents normally do when they're building out a saved search for their clients. So this would likely be in replacement of the MLS, as we do have an app. It's really beautiful. I was a Compass agent for a long time. I asked Final Offer to build this technology, which I'm showing you right now, to really allow me to leave Compass so that other brokerages had the same technology, but even better, which is what we built here, to share MLS and off-market or pre-market or whatever you would like to call it, exclusive listings into those saved searches automatically versus, I go to the sales meeting tomorrow and I say, I have something coming up in Arlington, Virginia. If anyone has anyone looking, this is a more automated, streamlined process. So easiest first step for agents is just to come to our site and build out a saved search for their clients based on all the normal things that matter. Okay. And by default, it's always going to include our pre-market listings to the brokerage. You can also just say, I only want to see the pre-market listings to my brokerage. But the idea is as your agents, in particular buyer agents, are talking to buyers, they can say, work with me, I can save a search for you, and I have access to listings you can't find anywhere else. Okay, I want to note that with a click of a button, you could bring a listing live on the open market. So again, we're not about selling off market. We're about really allowing a testing period and a brokerage to leverage this to help them, get more buyers and sellers. So again, as you build out a saved search, You literally just click the save search button. You'll name that save search and save it into what we call a channel. I'm going to show you a live one just because I think it's nice to see. Give me 1 second here. Under my dashboard is where all my saved searches exist in a channel. Again, we say a channel because this is a private space that's one-to-one, me and my client or clients, that is going to include all the MLS listings and those exclusive off-market listings. And as more come in that meet the criteria, they'll automatically fall into this saved search for super easy view and organization. So you can comment on listings and bucket them based on saved, favorited, request home tour, all of that. And then a tracking of all the messages here where you can see that all parties have viewed it. And over here even, I can see my client viewed this property 8 times. And so what's really nice is I had a client recently who viewed a property 18 times, which I got notified, but wouldn't talk to me. So I was texting, emailing, calling. They were super quiet. And so what I decided to do is once I saw they had viewed it 18 times, I went to that property. I took a video of it. I texted them and said, I've been thinking about you. I saw this home and it just screamed your name. You know, I wanted you to see it. Hope you're doing well. And we went under contract on it. So it's about getting some predictable data and insight into client behavior to know when to reach out, when they're quiet, and what's going on in their safe search. Any questions on that functionality? I'm not going to show you today because we
No.
oh, go ahead. No questions, you said?
I
Sorry.
just said no questions.
Okay. Really quick too, because this does not fall on all of you, but we have a certification course, which is just over here under training and certification. And it has little micro videos where after we do our launch with the agents that we really encourage people to go through. They'll get an emblem on our site. Their listings will be higher. They'll get social assets to go with it. But the idea is, you know, you can watch a 3-minute video on how to get that pre-market listing in, how to save a search, really some basic stuff so that all these little videos they can watch whenever they want at their own time and wherever they're at in the process of using our system. But there's 5 super easy steps of getting what we call pre-market or exclusive listing in our system. And I want to just state the pitch that a lot of agents use is really along the lines of, you know, in particular in a cold market with a seller who thinks their home is worth more than it is. You know, the second you sign this listing agreement, I'm going to start marketing your home effectively to my larger network of agents and their clients. During that time, we'll get feedback, we'll test pricing, we'll get inquiries, we'll see how many people have hearted and viewed your property. We might even get tours and offers, but it's such a premium that buyers are even knowing and getting the opportunity to know that your home is, you know, getting ready for the market. So it's not so much about selling it off the market, not to say that that doesn't happen. It's more about testing, no days on market, no price reduction history. Very often, and I'll show you in my cold market deck here, you know, it allows for an easier conversation to say to a seller, we've been on the off market platform at 650 for 3 weeks. We haven't had much traction. We really likely need to come to the open market on the MLS at $599. So it allows you to have a data-driven conversation versus traditionally you would have just come to the open market and needed an extra price reduction that maybe you wouldn't have needed during the testing period. Okay, again, please interrupt me with questions at any time. We are also driving leads. Excuse me as I go back here. We're also driving leads back to those pre-market listings. So as you can see here, as I was building out a safe search, pretend I'm a consumer on the site, represented, unrepresented. I'm an agent at another brokerage. I'm building out a safe search. And as I do that, it states that there's 40 pre-market listings that match the search criteria. I could click get access. And at this time I'm logged in as an agent, but a consumer would be asked, are you working with an agent? Yes or no? If the answer is no, those leads will go back to whomever they request access from. If the answer is yes, their agent will get a notification. If they're an agent at another brokerage, it really just looks like this, where there are some specs on the home with no identifying information about the property, where an agent or consumer can click and ask for requests for more information on a listing or multiple listings. And once they do that, the listing agent will then have the authority to choose to either grant permission to share that off-market listing within a one-to-one environment into one of our saved channels over here. Make sense? And you can see here a pre-market or off-market listing has a little tag and an emblem like that. I'll show you very quickly the buyer agent view of a listing in a channel, for example. Let's just see here. I'm a buyer agent. I scroll down. I can see who the listing agent is and how to contact them as a buyer in a channel. Sorry, it's a little slow for me today. If I were to scroll down on any listing, I cannot see who the buyer agent is because my agent has brought me into the system. So any behavior of this buyer would go to the listing agent or is not even accessible for them to do. Make sense on that part? Again, please feel free to interrupt me with questions at any time. We're going to keep cruising through here. So that's kind of part one of our product is like, having agents.
Hang on.
Oh,
hang
go ahead.
on.
I have a question. It might be a little bit not related to what you just said, but so if an agent has their license in multiple states, so for instance, I have my license here in Utah. I also have my license in Georgia.
Okay.
Since the market center here is signing up for this, would I have access to this in Georgia as well, or would that market center have needed to sign up for it as well?
And it's a KW market center there, a different one.
Correct.
Unfortunately, it is brokerage specific, so that market center would have to have an agreement with us as well in order to
Okay.
comply with
Even
clear
if
cooperation.
Okay, if it's not KW, I was just wondering why you asked that. If it's a different brokerage from KW?
Any brokerage would have to have an agreement to leverage
brokerage,
the
okay.
sharing of off markets. Yeah, that's a piece of our functionality, a feature that we built to really allow the other brokerages to have something to compete with, in particular where Compass has made such a large push of that functionality for their agents.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but would not necessarily the off market, like, market testing, but just in general use of the product.
So anyone can come to our site and like search and take a look around and opt in for text alerts, email alerts on a property. We do have the full MLS feed for all the states that we're live in, but to be able to use, our features, you can be a single agent subscriber, a team, or a brokerage can purchase this for their agents.
Okay, I see. All right, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Let's kind of talk about part two of our product, right? Part one is really saving an automated safe search that's elevated than the traditional MLS safe search that includes these private exclusive listings automatically. So this gives you all as a brokerage an ability to have a central technology that allows the sharing of those automatically so that, again, every time a new one is inputted with those 5 easy steps that meets the criteria of that safe search, it just automatically flows in to really allow agents to show their value and continually go on and do what they're best at, which is talking to people, right? Part two of our product, which is really our, I don't know what the word is, our bread and butter, or whatever people say, is really this gap that we're filling with offer alerts and alerts, more alerts than ever before. And so it's all about agents differentiating themselves, and driving this into new markets is a great way to really show value and grow your business. And so we have resources. I do want to show that quickly over here. So on our site in general, under here where it says resources, all of the resources we have are right here. If you're a listing agent and you want to get started, or you need a listing presentation insert, or you have a cold listing you need to do something with, or you're a buyer agent or scripts or all the stuff that you need, all of our daily webinars are here. Everything point is right here for agents to be able to just grab and print really easily. Okay. coming back to here. So this is part of our listing presentation insert, part 2, the second page of it, is really this chart here. And I like to use this plus our 60-second video on our landing page. But the idea is when I'm talking to a seller, I'll have this chart up and I'll essentially say, you know, every traditional agent is going to drive these alerts out to get you the best outcome. The problem with this is that, you know, it's listed for sale and alert goes out to the public and then really it's gone. And so what about the in between? And really my job is to get you the best outcome in the shortest amount of time. And the way that I do that is I drive more alerts out than ever before to really ensure eyeballs are always on your listing at the most important time and that not one offer or opportunity is missed. And so in the most simplest way, everyone, when an offer is made, an alert will go out to anyone following along. And we're going to walk through all of these alerts in just a minute, but this is really kind of that quick pitch of talking to a seller and just doing more than everyone else. Because I can promise you, especially when you walk into a new market with this product, talking to sellers, when you're doing more, being more aggressive, right, and more strategic by having these types of alerts go out, you're probably going to get more business because this is a great way to, you know, really ensure to a seller that they got the best outcome. So after you win the listing, which is what I did with this listing I'm walking you through right now, the most important next step is, you know, really building an audience and getting these very high quality leads. And what those really are due to the value prop of what we're offering here. So agents will take their sign writers, and there's a little number under the QR code here. I'm just going to, for fun, show you very quickly what that looks like. Again, we have videos on every single thing I'm showing you, so you don't need to remember. But under here, under Manage Listing, they'll put in that little sign writer QR code number to click a button and assign it. Typically, I tell agents, keep it there until it closes, then take that sign writer and move it to the next listing. And what's really great about that sign writer is this message here. And it actually says get offer alerts, not updates anymore. We've been A/B testing this, and offer alerts is getting more scans. And really, as nosy neighbors, driver buyers, people that come into the property, they see for the first time ever, they can get an alert when an offer is made on this home. They scan this QR code, they're now instantly getting real-time offer alerts via email on this property, and those leads fall into the agent's dashboard. So I always say, you know, last week I had a property, it is in a good location. We had 14 unrepresented consumer scans in 48 hours. So I just put my team on it and said, go call and convert all of these. And these are just people really willing to give their information because they're getting something of value. And this is working for me when I'm sitting here right now, or even when a property is under contract, it's sitting out there for me, generating really high quality business for me. Okay. And then on every listing under Manage Listing, there is an open house tool. So I'm not sure exactly. Was there a question? Sorry. Nope. Okay, no problem.
No.
You know, I'm not sure what agents are using to capture people's information at open houses. A lot use pen and paper. This is just, again, it's all about the value prop. And please note that this open house tool is assignable. So if someone on my team or someone at my brokerage wants to do my open house, I can assign it to them for the day so that they can get the leads that come in. But I have this up on a computer screen, or I download the QR code and have it out there. But the idea, or you can click this check in attendee here and watch them check in themselves. But what's really cool about this is instead of the, where do you live? What are you looking for? Do you have a real estate agent? Please sign in talk track. You can say to them, if you could please scan this QR code, for the first time ever, you're going to be getting an alert every time an offer is made on this property. I believe you should have all the information at your fingertips when buying the biggest asset of your life. Whether you like this home or not, it's important to understand market conditions. I'm happy to set up a saved search for you that includes listings like this and off-market listings. This is a great way to keep people in the door longer, build trust, build rapport, and convert. This is how I built a team of 6 agents, mostly because a lot of my agents were newer in the beginning, but they wanted something of value to offer someone so they felt more confident at an open house, not felt like pushy and annoying at an open house. So that's another one of our tools built into every listing. The next is, you know, on every listing, you have a printable QR code to download that you can put on print marketing. This is an example of what I like to do. You know, I'll do hey neighbor, I'll do hey nosy neighbor. I mean, I switch it up quite a bit. Know before your neighbors. I'll say grab the popcorn. I've tested a lot of things. We are building out templates just like this one for agents to be able to click of a button, order postcards for around a neighborhood based on, you know, how many years they've lived in the home, all that good stuff. But again, the concept is you're inviting the neighbors to follow along to understand exactly what's going on with their neighbor's property, and what neighbor wouldn't want to know everything going on with their neighbor's home to understand the value of theirs. And so the messaging we've created and for agents to leverage with the QR codes or social media templates is really, really great for really getting people to follow along and really converting really high quality business because they're doing something different and better. Again, please interrupt me with questions. So with this listing, which I won, by the way, because of my talk track around final offer, I also generated, we got 3 buyers. They're all sold at this point because this was in April. This was my last multiple offer home because I've been in a very cold market. But I did have one a few days ago that was multiple offers that if we have time, I'll show you today. And then we got 2 listings out of this. Okay. And so what I did with this listing, which is a choice by the listing agent and seller, was I decided that I knew I was getting at least 1 offer. So I wanted to set a traditional offer deadline, just like I always have done. So typically today, I'm not sure if you all use Broker Bay, Showing Time. We use Showing Time here. I would normally just go into Showing Time, alert everyone who's previously seen the home, offers due Tuesday at 5, which only alerts the agent. It does not alert the consumer. I then would go into the MLS public remarks section. Hey, everyone, offers due Tuesday at 5. There's no alert that goes out. So I'm just hoping all of those interested buyers come back to that listing to see what's going on and read it. I'm still going to do those things, but I'm in addition going to set that offer deadline on final offer as well, which will alert everyone following along, including consumers, nosy neighbors, driver buyers, all of those people that I've now captured more than ever before. But it's also going to continually remind them. The email is something like, you know, offer deadline approaching, make your offer today. Okay, so this is again an alert that does not exist in traditional sales today that drives out to the consumer and brings them back to the property to make the property front and center and to drive those views up. So I did that. Now, how are offers made? I'm sure all of you are questioning, how does this work? Okay, so there are 3 ways that offers can be made, and I'm going to actually just show it to you right here. On any listing under Manage Listing, there's this upload an offer button. So I, as a listing agent, can just tell all of the buyer agents, send me your offer as you normally do. We are managing the offer process through final offer. I will get your offer in, but make sure that you're following along, because for the first time ever, you're going to know that your offer was presented to the seller in real time and what time. And for the first time ever, you're also going to know when and if another offer comes in. So you click the upload offer button, put in the PDF offer, couple a little bit of information, and click upload offer. The other way is that the buyer agent can click make an offer here. They can make the offer from their phone quite quickly, or they can click the upload an offer and upload it themselves.
When you say they can make an offer from their phone, what do you mean?
So this is
that
going to
something tied to the MLS or to their docs?
So we have essentially the list, they would be prompted to fill out, dependent on what happens. If the listing agent sets up the terms to the listing on our site of what the seller wants, the buyer agent can then click to either agree or propose a different option of what they're asking for. So that's the normal terms of home inspection, financing, appraisal, closing date, all of that would be right there, along with additional terms that can be added. Now,
But I guess, again, I'm being a broker here. That's what you're saying is they're writing an offer using the app, but how is it binding upon the parties?
yeah, so it's more of a letter of intent at this point and more of the negotiation part. Now, on our roadmap, we're anticipating in the next 3 months to have forms incorporated that would also have
Okay,
AI put it on the form for them. So right now, in a new market, we really do encourage people to use the upload offer button. That way the forms are
Sure.
here and you can do it that way. Now, in my market, this has always been the way people do it because we write 65-page offers every time we write an offer, and it takes such a long time that people want
Oh, sorry.
so people want to make it from their phone very quickly. And so like where I live, this is like the norm, and it's expected to get the offer between X amount of time that the listing agent states, which has to be a maximum of 24 hours. Does that make sense?
Okay, so they'd have to follow it up with the written, the signed offer,
In this one, yes.
you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. And again, we're excited that we really found the right company to take the AI and do that stuff for agents and put it on the forms. But we need about 3 more months for that to be fully integrated into our system. So
Great, so what you're really saying is Q2 then of next year. I'm
Mhm.
kidding, but
I don't even know what that means. I always say, I'm just a real estate agent. I don't understand. So
yeah, I know.
just think
So
of me
3
as
months
I
sounds
really have
great.
just.
It'll be 6.
I
Yeah,
hope not. No, we move really quickly. I mean, we built that the private exclusive functionality. We built in 3 months, and it took Compass 3 years, and we built pretty much exactly what they have, except more those alerts that you're seeing that I'm showing, like the offer deadline when an offer is made. If there's a safe search and one of those offers is in there, that alert goes to those people too. So we always say we have more alerts going out than Compass agents are. I don't know if Compass is big
Yeah.
in the market, but it's quite big in a lot of the markets we're in. Now, this part's cool, but
I didn't either.
one thing that we will need is and I'm going to follow up Novally with you after. We have an AI system that will take those uploaded offers or the offers made in that will then scrape each offer and plop them into our offer comparison tool, which also functions as a seller net sheet. So what we will need is 15 executed contracts. I'll follow up with you after so that AI can learn your contract a bit. So this is not going to be live immediately because it has to learn from executed contracts. Only 15 of them. But anyway, so it scrapes it, plops it in. It includes buyer agent comp, all of those things. What it doesn't include, which can be added at the bottom, are things like seller payoff to Chase Mortgage, 450 grand. All of the fees you can add to the bottom, and it'll show the net up here, and then the agent can drag and drop them in order. So it's just a much more beautiful way of presenting a multiple offer situation or even one offer situation. Any questions on that tool?
I'm clapping. That's a beautiful thing.
That cool? Yeah, again, I wish it started day one, but we have to get a couple contracts in or in advance. If we could get some contracts, we can even redact the name just so that the AI learns them quickly. That is the most ideal situation. Okay, so
I have a quick question,
please. Yeah, yeah.
In your in the multiple offer scenarios, does it, I'm using my language, does it whitewash who the buyer is, who the agent is, just shows the offer side by side, or how does it differentiate? How do I know which offer is which?
Yeah, so even when
And
you
part of it for,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, part of it's for fair housing stuff. If I have the Rokoboudrow family or the Smith family
Sure.
writing an offer, I would want to protect my seller from making a decision based on someone's last name or their assumptions about a last name.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, we're all about fair housing, really. That I'll get into like where we
Yep.
started and why. What it will show is it will say, it says Julie buyer's agent there. And this is internal for the listing agent to see right now. Okay, this is not a public view, what I'm showing you, but at the bottom, it would say view full details and you could see the whole contract. This is just the main terms
Sure.
of it. Here's maybe more of what's important for you to see is that buyer 1, 2, 3, 4 offers are in with the date and time stamp. There's no identifying information of who's the agent,
Oh,
who's
that's
the person.
good.
Okay. And again, this solves for those questions in the beginning. Is there really an offer on the table? Was my offer even presented to the seller? So this is allowing, the seller gets all of these offers in real time at their fingertips as well. And in the most simplest way of using our system, I'm showing you really consumer facing offer management with real-time offer alerts and more alerts than ever before. And so sometimes agents stop right here, traditionally negotiate and do what they normally do. But I'm going to show you a few other things that are that agents are capable of doing if they wish to do so at a more advanced strategic level. But before I kind of move on,
Okay.
does anyone have a question on that?
Yeah, quick question about the alerts. Do they come in, like, whether you're a nosy neighbor, whether you're an agent, seller, however it comes, is it a text alert, is it email, or is it like a push notification through the app that they have to have?
Great question. Here, they have to opt in for text alerts per the law. So that's one thing. Here, if they use any of our scans, they're automatically going to get email alerts, which is this. And then lastly, if they have the app, they'll also get push notifications.
So it's coming ideally through all three.
Yep. This one's
but
the
at
only
least through
one
text.
you have to opt in. So when you click get offer alerts via text, you have to say yes, per the like laws of consumer protection.
Okay.
Just in time.
Okay. So I'm going to just tell you what I did with this listing. Okay. So I collected these 4 offers. Now, mind you, this one was way higher. This one was for 1.4, and these were like low 1.3s. They were terrible offers, but I was fine with the alerts. I went in, I clicked a button that then ranked each offer for the buyer and their agent to see only. So you can't see the other offers. You just know that you've already lost. You're in 3rd place here. And I love this because as someone who represents many, many buyers over 17 years, the biggest frustration is I hear it every single time. Well, I would have paid more had I just known. Or, well, how are we supposed to know how to make an offer? Or when I say to my clients, whatever doesn't keep you up at night is where we should go, right? Like that's not a great conversation to have. And in this example, we were given the courtesy to know, okay, I'm in 3rd place. I can make a higher offer. I now can talk to my client and say, we're not going to win with this offer. We do have an opportunity to make a higher offer. Would you like to change your offer versus you've lost? And that's it. Any questions on that one? Now, that's all I did in this example. I
Because
negotiated. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I can't see all of the detail just because it's on a large monitor here. But I see the 4075, but it was 1,000,004 listing. What's
This
what's
is a
the 4075? I'm just trying to-
Sorry. This is a screen grab of just a way to show it.
okay.
This wasn't. So in my
Okay.
example though, I ranked them for the buyer and their agent to see only. And then I was able to
Okay.
get buyer 1 to come up 50 grand. I said, you're in 1st place, but everyone now gets an opportunity to make a higher offer. Would you like to come to 1.45? I mean, I'm talking these offers were in the low 1.3s. This was the only possible offer that was ever going to work for me, but I was able to get them up another 50 grand.
Wow, sweet.
Okay. So these are all choices, by the way, that it's strategy, listing agent working with their seller, whatever they want to do, they have more options than they do traditionally. So we're going to take it a step further, and I'm going to show some examples in particular. I'll show one hot example and a bunch of cold ones because you're in a colder market. But everything moving forward that I'm going to show you requires what we call in our system a seller signed agreement. And essentially that is a click of a button agreeing to the terms and services. There's a paper trail where the seller will get the agreement, the listing agent will too. And it essentially states that the seller is allowing the disclosure of offers. Okay, this is again, a choice by the seller and their agent if that's something they want to do. Now, sometimes people will collect offers and just expose all of them for everyone to see. Hey, everyone, this is where you stand. They might set an offer deadline, a traditional one on here, which gets those alerts out, giving everyone a chance to make a higher offer. This is a choice. There's no requirements. This is a strategy in our system. 2 more to show you, 2 more strategies. This one is called the seller's reserve, okay? This is where the listing agent, sorry, one second. The listing agent and seller can really just state publicly what the seller is willing to take, seller's price and terms that, if met, would start what we call an offer window, which is a period of time that the listing agent and seller decide. Maybe it's an hour, maybe it's 10 days, whatever you want. Now, we've seen this where once met the reserve, the timer begins and everyone has complete transparency into the price of every offer coming in, and every offer has to be at least 0.5% higher. I will show you case studies in a hot and cold market of this. I will tell you, I have used this functionality for sellers when I just have one offer who, are not happy, where I then do this, where everyone now gets an alert. They have an opportunity, there's a timer going, and when no one makes a higher offer, my sellers will say, okay, well, at least we know that everyone had a chance, no one did, we got the best outcome. Again, I'm going to walk you through examples to visualize this more, and then very quickly, though, I'll show you the last kind of exciting one, which is our buy it now option on our site. The final offer button. This is the price and terms that puts a property under contract immediately. Listing agent can use this at any time. What we are seeing is that the buyer is willing to pay a premium to know exactly what it takes to shut it down, ending all negotiation and competition. So why don't we check these out in action? Because I think that's going to be much more helpful to visualize. So really quick, I'm going to show you first a hot listing, because in some markets, there are still hot listings like Connecticut. So this is a listing that was listed on the MLS for $985. Just a reminder again, every listing feeds on the final offer with the list price, which is whatever is being marketed on the MLS. So if you want to change something on the MLS, it will then reflect onto our site. You can't make changes on the price here. $985, okay? And here's what happened. The listing agent collected 6 offers. You can see them all here. Okay, and when we asked the listing agent, what would you normally do without final offer? She said she would have gone to the top 2 offers and said, give me your best and final. Okay, she used final offer for this listing. And what ended up happening was she negotiated with buyer 2, which was the best offer, to start an offer window. Okay, now everybody gets to see the price of every offer coming in. And as you can see here, we had 6 offers. Here comes a 7th buyer. This 7th buyer would have not existed had she not done it this way. Her traditional way, it would have been lost. As you can see, every offer coming in has to be at least 0.5% higher. And here comes an 8th buyer who came out of nowhere that would not have existed had she not used our system this way. What ended up happening was that this property sold significantly over where it sat, where it began. And this was a choice by the agent, leveraging complete transparency and alerts to get the best outcome. Let's look at this in a cold market, because we very often hear, well, I can see how this works in a hot market, but not a cold market. It works very, very, very well in a cold market. It's how I got involved with final offer. It's how we see really the most adoption of our product are for agents that are really needing to do something to move a property. So this property was listed on the MLS at $799 for many, many months, okay? Listing agent could not get the seller to do a price reduction. Finally said, what if we did this? We drop the price to $749 on the MLS, and we'll keep this $799 price that I know you really want, that, you feel the home is worth out there for the public to see, right? So now the sellers feel seen and heard. So this is the psychology of, don't just call for a price reduction, call with a plan, right? And what happened is one buyer came in because they opened up the buyer pool. They saw that anybody could click $799 with these terms and it would be gone. And they paid that premium. And that seller got the original list price where it's at, stale. And what's interesting to me is whether that worked or not, which we do see it work quite a bit. What I think is important was that this agent came to the table with a strategy, not just a price reduction. And it made that conversation a much better one than the traditional price reduce until it's your fault it didn't move. This is the same exact thing I did with my first listing ever on
ahead.
final offer. Oh, go ahead.
Hang on just a sec here. So where did you reduce, excuse me, where did you reduce the list price to 749?
The
Yes.
MLS.
Yes, the MLS, the list price is always whatever the MLS number is.
Okay, so 749 about, so then the final offer, you have 799. Help me understand. I missed a step.
She had 70.99 listed as the buy it now option, meaning
Oh,
that
okay.
end all negotiations, get it under contract, no more
So
competition.
it's
Is
the buy
that
now,
right?
that's the buy now
That's
button, if
exactly
you
right.
will.
Just think of the buy it now
Okay.
like today on Amazon, you click it and you bought it, right? It's done. There's nothing else you have to
Mhm.
do, it's yours. And so people know that concept, right? And the idea that, with Amazon, there's plenty of things you can buy 100 of those one things. With a home, it's one home, right? So if you can buy it right now, people are willing to pay a little bit more to do that. And so this is a huge one that agents are using to move properties. This next one is a little interesting, but this is what I did too. Mine wasn't as exciting. I got 2 offers to bid it up, but essentially the list price on the MLS was 1495 for many months. And the listing agent got the seller to give them their bottom line and essentially reverse offered to everyone with our seller's reserve price of 1450 with a set of terms. So now everyone's being alerted. The seller's willing to take a lower price. They leveraged Showing Time, Broker Bay, of course, to get that alert out to everyone saying, hey, everyone, we're reverse offering at 1450, make an offer today. Seller reverse offering. What ended up happening here is 4 offers came in that didn't meet the seller's reserve to automatically start a 1-hour timer. But they negotiated to get that going and it happened. And now a 1-hour timer is going and this property sold over where it sat stale. Within, just note that if someone makes an offer within the last 20 minutes, the timer will automatically extend to 20 minutes. So it's not the last one in that wins, it's the best one. But what this really does that's really cool is it really shows market validation. It gives buyers a choice to continually improve their offer or walk away with information. So it allows an agent to actually be an expert and a guide versus this, we're going to guess what it takes to win this home and whatever doesn't keep you up at night conversation that is super standard in our industry today. And what we're seeing is we have less buyer remorse and more buyer retention in deals because people are choosing to win or choosing to lose. Pre-market strategy, I lightly touched on this. This is the one where I had it on for a little bit on the off-market period for 650. Only had 24 views, 2 hearts. So I was able to say to the sellers, oh, I'm very concerned about coming on the MLS at 650. I really feel strongly we need to come on at 599. And they agreed. So I was able to not, have to get a 1 or 2 price reduction here. I was able to come on the market at a stronger price to move it.
I have a question.
Yep.
If we don't want that strategy available, can you remove it from the training?
Which strategy? This one.
Pre-market.
The pre-market.
So do you not want us talking about pre-market at all to the agents? Because we can do that too.
I like it.
There are some agents that might like it, the broker hates it.
I understand. I know. It's about a choice though. Sellers have an extra choice here. And it's about, my thing is like where I live, Compass has market share. So like if I don't say that I can do this, I will lose the business. So I have to be able to at least offer this as well so that I'm not putting myself at risk.
But it's not like we're listing it off market and accepting offers. Like we still intend to bring it to market, right?
Well, you can, but no, the real intent for the pre-market strategy is
Yeah, I'm-
twofold. One,
I'm just trying
is
to
we're testing a
understand
price.
where your problem, yeah,
We're
because
testing a
that's the
price.
main point, is
Number
we want to
two,
test
though-
price before we start the days on market.
Yeah, but number two, the real reason why is agents are trying to double side it, or brokerages are trying to keep it internal. We're not marketing it broadly.
Right,
we're
but I don't
marketing
think
it
that would be
super
our
narrowly.
intent. Our intent wouldn't be
Yeah.
to double side it, because the
No, but
agents,
you're giving an agent a tool to do that.
right, but the agents here don't particularly care about the double side for the
Uh,
market
You're
center.
wrong.
Oh,
For
yes,
the
they
market
do.
center? Agents here, why would they? Wouldn't they just rather sell the home?
No, they
But
want.
Are
they're
you
gonna make
kidding
twice as
me?
much money.
Oh, you're saying they're trying to dual agency?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
Or-
thought you were talking about limited agency between
No.
agents in the brokerage.
No.
it's like you do both sides, which.
No, I get that.
No, from the
I think
brokerage
it's for
perspective,
both
yeah, we
sides of
want
the
to see it
brokerage doing it. I want to be
But I
clear.
thought this pre-market, I thought this pre-market was just like marketing it to other agents that we have here for them
Yes.
and their clients to
Yeah.
test the price, as opposed
Yeah.
to us trying to get dual agents.
Yes, I
No,
mean, you
it's
can
both. That's what I'm saying. It's both. And I promise you, agents will look at it. This is just from 20 years experience. That's all.
I believe you, yeah.
I promise you, agents would rather have an unrepresented buyer and I'll say double tap it. Whereas, sellers will see it as, oh, well, this is just a chance to test it. But what I'm really doing is I'm not marketing it broadly. I'm only marketing it to
Well, I want to be clear
just
too.
in our market, it's just the MLS.
I see what you're saying. Your worry is that they're trying to double up on commission and not allowing their clients, not putting their clients' fiduciary duty above theirs to
Yeah.
market it more widely to get a higher purchase price.
Possibly.
Okay, yeah,
Absolutely.
that,
That's,
I
there's
can
an
see-
intended consequence.
I can see why that would be like a problem, but
where is
that's not how I would use this feature.
Of
but-
course not.
Maybe
Isn't this on,
others aren't.
Like other.
I'm not trying to say I'm
companies lining up
ethical,
with
but-
us, Other KWs.
But it doesn't
I-
go to them. It
I
will
don't
go to
know.
them because on our MLS, it demands that a pre-market still goes to the MLS, but it has to be specifically searched for by agents and can only be seen by agents. So think MarketSync, in our brokerage, it's across all brokerages that access the MLS, but it doesn't go out to IDX websites or other,
Yeah.
to the public facing.
You all decide what you want to do. I mean, ultimately, when very often people say double end, it's usually the brokerage double ends, right? Like Compass tries to keep everything in-house to get both sides of it. In a cold market, though, I do see the value in showing a seller it's overpriced before coming to the open market. In a hot market, more properties sell off market, which is probably not the best thing for a seller. So again, the way we talk about it when we train on it is that it's a testing period. We call it pre-market for a reason, right? Pre-market means before the market. But you all just please let me know either way what you want me to talk about before we launch it.
Go ahead and present this, just so that we can see, how you would present it. Go ahead. Which is
Yeah,
good.
essentially, I always say to a seller, I'm going to start marketing your home immediately once you sign this listing agreement to a wide range of my network of agents and their clients, where we're going to test pricing. We'll get feedback. We'll get inquiries possibly. We might even get showings. We might even get offers. But ultimately, the concept of this is so that we can understand the best way to come to the open market during a testing period where there's no days on market and no price reduction history. That's typically my pitch. And then when talking to buyers, you're not going to like this one, but it's like very nice to say, I have access to listings you can't find on Zillow. Right? I mean, it's having something valuable that they don't have access to, which agents like. I hate to say. So, for the sake of time, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, if it's not going to Zillow and stuff like that, how could the public see it if they text
The only
or
way the
scan,
public,
whatever?
the only way the public will see it is if an agent has a relationship, I'm using relationship generally, with the MLS where someone is signed up on your MLS connection. They connect and the agent can send it to them now that John Q. Public can see that listing.
Oh.
And that's the only way they can see it until it's
But also,
brought black.
yep. The other way though is like if you go like this is you would not be able to see this on the live site, but like this is like my brokerage, right? This is a listing that's off market that you can't see, but I can see, and I can then save it and share it in a save search for my clients. So when I build out save searches on Final Offer, clearly something's going on. When I build out a save search for my clients, it's going to include those off market listings to my brokerage. So every time agents upload new off market listings, pre-market listings, they automatically will, if they meet the criteria, will go right into that save search for my client. And that's why it's a one-to-one environment, which
Yeah.
makes clear cooperation.
Our MLS is our MLS is different in that we can put in a pre-market listing on the MLS and it's available to any agent on the MLS to look at, and they can share it with their clients only in a limited situation, meaning the client is signed up with that agent as a buyer agent to see it. So it's similar to, you know, your Final Offer solution in that as long as I have I'll call it a buyer broker relationship, a fiduciary with them, then I have the ability to market that to them.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
So it's not limited to just my brokerage. It's any listing agent in the market on the multiple listing service, because they still have responsibility. to
considered
immediately
coming
start
soon?
marketing it.
What is the status for
No.
you called? What's it
It's
called?
called pre-market.
Okay.
It's a pre-marketing, it's to, I'm using in theory, follow what the MLS settlement agreement was on this latest suit.
Sure. Okay. Got it.
And so it's a pre-market solution, but it's, anyway, it's the same, but a little different, just because
Okay.
we're trying to cover every piece of the assets,
Yeah, I gotcha.
you know.
I gotcha. Well, why don't I show you all just one more example of an off market, and then we can take some questions, and anything tech wise you want me to show you, I'm happy to do, but I'll kind of give a little quick walkthrough. But, you know, I've been on a few podcasts talking about moving cold listings using Final Offer over the past 3 years, and a builder, developer, flipper, whatever you want to call it, in Georgia who flips single family homes. He heard me and he bought Final Offer for 17 of his agents across the state of Georgia. And he had 50 properties that weren't moving. They were on the market at least 7 months or longer. And so he has been moving a bunch of them on our platform. And the strategy he likes to use is, you know, he will drop the MLS list price a little bit below where he would really want an offer. He then collects offers here, which in this example, he was at 75 on the MLS. He got an offer for 650 and 660. The only reason I know it is because he told me, otherwise it's private. He ranked them so that they could see where they stood. So in this example, buyer one knew that they were already not winning. He then added a buy it now price of this funky number, and buyer one went in and clicked it. Came up about 50 grand. He did that again on this one.
Wow.
That's kind of the move he likes to use. I mean, there's lots of different moves and strategies that agents around the country and provinces in Canada have really come up with just getting a bit more creative, right? I mean, when you think about what happens today with a cold listing, you sit and wait for an offer to come, right? I mean, it's hard with the strategies that the MLS and without our system to go kind of be a bit more aggressive about it. Now, you know, I forget what percent, but a decently high percent of listings in the MLS are listed at $1 right now as agents are trying to get creative. But what's happening is they're getting offers for $500, $1,000. There's no system where imagine something like this, where you drop the MLS list price to $1 and you have a seller's reserve of $1 million to start a timer or whatever that may be to really actually drive the price up and get a good outcome for the seller. And so, even before final offer, I would drop the price like $100 just to get an alert out to be like, don't forget about me over here, right? And so there's lots of different ways that agents are using our system to just drive an alert out to try to capture eyeballs back to the listing to see if you can, get some different type of traction or at least do a bit more than traditional stuff.
Does that have like, maybe this is just a Dean question, does that affect appraisal at all? Like if you price it like maybe 30 grand below what you're even like
No,
thinking would be fair on the MLS
the
normally?
appraisal is the appraisal. It has to appraise or,
But it's
Yeah, and
based
you
on
have-
sold. They don't look at like what it was.
correct.
listed
They
at.
don't base it on list price all the
So you
time.
could.
I do look.
You
Hey,
could
look.
put your list
I wanna-
as, like way low, but then have this, or does that affect the appraisal? Like, I just don't know which way.
Well,
to-
so just
Everything.
really
affects the
quick,
appraisal.
though, too, I think it's important is that
That's my opinion.
you have the ability as a listing agent, I didn't dive into this. Remember, it's price and terms. You have the ability during this period of time to go in and say, oh, buyer 4 has an appraisal gap, or buyer 4 is waiving the appraisal, where you can change a term and say appraisal, no longer accepted. It then alerts everyone, the seller's made a term change, make a better offer today. So you are able to control what those terms look like when you start getting a little concerned about appraisal, or someone's willing to waive the home inspection, or people are even coming in requesting different buyer agent comp. All of those things are terms that can be changed throughout this process.
Okay.
What other questions do you have in general? I will say, once we launch the product really similarly to the way I did today, except I probably show a little bit more of the technology, the agents will then be going into certification, where we're going to really have you all encourage them to go over here and get certified, which are those micro videos. And those are really great resources. We also have our other resources here. And then over here is like the chat button where you can connect with our concierge team. If you need anything at any time, agents can do that as they like something quickly, obviously. But ultimately, we then have live training every single day of the week. They're only 15 minutes long. Sometimes you just register, you don't even have to show up and you'll get the recording, but all of it is broken out really nicely in training and certification and how to use our system.
So what's the tracking system for the sign writers?
That's up to you all. So you'll get a certain
Okay.
amount upfront. I've seen other brokerages definitely be particular with that, because the first batch is a part of the subscription and the second moving forward is not. And so I would have a tracker on it to make sure, your agents are even using it. And, maybe give X amount to agents who have a lot of listings versus not, stuff like that.
Okay,
What did you mean? Tracking system?
And how
Like
will,
a
well,
spreadsheet?
cause,
Like-
yeah,
how does it get? Does the agent like send me the address or the MLS and then I scan a certain writer? Like, how do I, does that make
Yeah,
sense?
so it
how do we
gets
connect the writer to
Right
the-
here.
The thing.
It says assign sign writer,
MLS?
put the little number on.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
I'll need to,
Does the agent do that or does the leadership team do that?
the agent does that. So they'll take their sign writer
Okay.
from the thing. It has a little number on there under it. That way they can move it. So once this property closes, I can take my sign writer and put it on the next property that I have up for sale. And they just put in the
okay.
number
And
under
they
the
will
QR
take
code.
a sign writer thing. We don't have to assign them to them.
Nope,
the
they're on
website at
here.
all.
No, they just type in that little number. There's a number below here. I don't know if you can see it. It says 225 there. Oops. 225 below the sign writer. Every single one has one that we then link in the background. On every listing, they can download their print QR code. It's generated automatically for each listing. Same with their open house.
And if they're switched, what if they like switch between each other? Like, can the new agent, then will the information just automatically go to them?
Are you talking about the open house tool?
No, we're talking about the actual sign writer.
But
If I have a sign writer, I'm done, I've sold my listing, I give it to Cameron,
Yeah,
then
Cameron
now
can go to
Cameron
their
goes in, he
listing
can
and put
take
that number in.
that sign writer number and
Yep.
assign it to his listing?
Yep,
Okay, because our other, system, we had to do something on the back end to switch
Nope.
which agent got like the lead info.
nope, they'll just take it and put the, here, I have one right here, 436. Actually, no, this is on another listing right now. I don't want to change, this is the live site, so I'm gonna be careful, but nope, that's really it. So it's movable.
So when you click the continue, that's when you would put all of the information on, connect it to the multiple listing service and be able to pull that data, is I'm guessing.
No, it's already here. So every listing on the MLS is right here. That is mine. There's no connecting, it's already connected. When the agent signs up on our site, they're gonna sign up with the email address that they use on the MLS so that it's merges them so that everything is connected. Now, when their listing is in off-market, pre-market status, and then they go into the MLS and enter their listing because it's coming on the market, when that goes live, it will automatically merge it. So everything from that off-market period, hearts, views will stay, but everything else is gone. So the no photos and all that stuff is gone.
Okay,
Okay?
Any other questions?
again, I have one other question, and again, how does this help me as a buyer agent? Again, I know that you talked about at the very beginning, mostly I understand how it benefits the list side and negotiating offers. How does it help me as a buyer agent besides the, I know that we're third in the pecking order. And then on the secondary question or a corollary question is, if I have an escalation clause built into mine so that we'll beat any offer by $2,300 or whatever that number is that we choose, how does that all fit?
Yeah, so our system will allow you to auto escalate and set that. The technology allows for it. When it comes, your first question, buyer agents, setting up safe searches here, it's, I don't know your MLS, but ours is terrible. And this is a much prettier, oopsies, prettier way of kind of keeping organized of all the active clients, knowing what's going on, communicating and sharing off-market properties automatically. And then in addition, and knowing like what their behavior is like on the site or in the channel. For buyer agents also though, you know, it goes back to those questions I really brought up at the beginning here, that, you know, the process today is not good, right? When you really take a step back at how offers are negotiated, it's not great to be able to say to your client, you know, well, what should we make an offer for? Is there really another offer on the table? Well, they said there's another offer. Okay, well, do you believe them? Yes, no, I don't know, right? Or, you know, how should we structure an offer that's going to win? Well, based on my experience or based on me reaching this agent or knowing this agent or whatever it may be, we really need to come in strong. Well, what does strong mean? Well, just your client says, what about that comp over there? Why are you saying we need to go over $1 million if that closed 3 months ago for that? Well, you never know what could happen, right? And that whole conversation, I mean, that doesn't make me feel very good as a buyer's agent to be guessing with them how to buy the biggest asset of their life. And, you know, I built a team around this product really because at open houses, they have so much confidence in what their value is and what they're offering and what they're saying to people when they walk into an open house. So that open house tool is assignable. So if I don't do my open houses or I want to give it to someone on my team, I can assign it to them for the day so that they can capture the leads, but have the talk track and make sure people are following along. And so again, we're solving for bigger issues at play here, which are the process is opaque. It's super broken. There's a lot of people cut out of deals, whether they're buyers or agents in general. And this brings a lot more clarity to allow a buyer agent to truly be a guide versus a, you know, a psychic playing the game of how to win and leveraging a relationship to try to convince your client to overpay for a home. If that makes sense. That's like more of my agent speak, being passionate about the value this product brings to a buyer agent, to me is more powerful than anything else on the site, because I'm sick of being a buyer agent with no information and doing my best to try to find information or get information that's not even always truthful.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
So if just a human without an agent drives by and scans it, are they gonna be able to see all the other things or only agents? Because
So-
then we don't really have like
they're
an
going to-
upper hand if it's all the public too. Like
Well-
if they
Yeah,
list it on themselves.
Yeah, so anybody can see on our site when an offer is made, or any of that history that I showed, anybody can see that. You know, it is a consumer facing site. You cannot list on our platform without being an agent. That's why we have to manually verify when agents sign up, their license number and all that good stuff to preserve the integrity of our site. As consumers scan the QR codes, the flow looks like, are you working with an agent? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, they'll type in their agent's name, who will be notified. If the answer is no, those leads will go back to the listing agent to do whatever they normally do when someone comes direct. A buyer cannot make an offer in our system without being linked to an agent, driving their
They can't,
information.
we cannot-
They cannot.
okay.
We,
So a buyer can't make an offer directly. They can, there's no click a button to make an offer if I'm an unrepresented buyer.
It goes to the listing agent. So then the listing agent, whatever they
Oh, okay.
normally do when someone comes direct, can call them, refer them, say, let me get an expert to talk to you. Whatever you normally do when someone walks into your open house and says, I want to make an offer on this property, and you have their information as the listing agent, your process is run however you normally do it.
so I have a question. We hire about 10 agents a month and lose about that many. So how are you going to keep an updated roster?
Yeah, we're gonna, that's not a me question, but that's our implementation team. I mean, we have some brokerages that are 5,000 agents and they lose and gain 200 agents a month. It's hard, I'm not gonna lie, but yes, we're gonna have to work closely together to get updated rosters to remove the subscriptions of agents that have left your brokerage. I don't know that
Okay.
process.
All right. Any other questions?
No, this was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And
Thank
again,
you.
we want everyone to go to certification after. You'll hear that. And if there's anything I said today that you're like, we don't want to talk about that, just let us know. And we will be making a trip out to Utah, likely the late October, where we'd like to do some of this stuff in person as well, post-launch. So we'll connect with
Okay,
you.
super.
Okay?
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Have an
I'll set
awesome
the
day.
recording.
See ya.
You too. Bye.